Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to film for you all of my beauty favourites of 2015. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with foundation, and the foundation that I fell completely head over heels from the first time I used it is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. What I love about this foundation is that it gives you a nice demi-matte finish. So it's not a completely flat matte finish. It's not kind of cakey, dry or powdery at all. But then again, it doesn't get kind of dewy and shiny throughout the day. My skin produces its own dewiness throughout the day, and the texture of this is so light on the skin, but it gives you a decent amount of coverage. And obviously this is really affordable being from the drugstore. Okay, moving on to my brows, and there's two products that I can't live without, and it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz and the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper. And I use these both in conjunction with each other. Usually I go in with the pencil side and fill in and shape my brows, and then I go in with the brow gel to set it in place. The Brow Wiz, I mean, it's a Kohl product for a reason. It's such a lovely texture. It comes with a spoolie on one end, which is a nice thin one, and the product is so fine and so precise. You can really get in there and mimic individual hairs. The Brow Artist Plumper, I think this is great because it comes with little fibres in the product, and the wand is the perfect size. It's small enough to kind of get to all of the hairs on your brows, but without smearing product all over your forehead. Okay, moving on to eyeshadows. I've been using a lot of different eyeshadows this year, and a lot of them I have loved, so narrowing it down to kind of one kind of brand of eyeshadows was kind of really hard, but I've gone to one that I kind of always go back to, and it's the eyeshadows from Makeup Geek. I've actually got them in a MAC quad palette because I just wanted to pick out a few of the eyeshadows to show you, and the ones I've got here are Rapunzel, Shimma Shimma, Creme Brulee and Americano. And these are just some of the kind of staple basic shades that I use on a day-to-day basis. And I'm actually wearing Rapunzel on the inner half of my eyelids, and I think it's a great way to kind of brighten up the eyes without it looking too stark or too shimmery. But it's not completely flat because it's not a matte. There's definitely a slight sheen to it. Shimma Shimma is a holy grail inner corner highlight for me. It's bright, it's intense. Creme Brulee is an absolute staple. It's a great transitional colour. And then Americano, this is one of their newer matte shades, and it's just a really dark neutral brown which you just can't go wrong with. Now moving on to mascara. My favourite mascara I think has got to be the L'Oreal False Lash Architect 4-Dimension Effect Fibres Waterproof Mascara. Now if you've been around these sides, you know that I only use waterproof mascara because my Asian lashes are super fine, super straight, and they basically cannot keep a curl if I go in with regular mascara, even if I've curled my lashes. So I always use waterproof mascara. And this one, I find actually with most mascaras that I kind of learn to love them after using them a couple of weeks. I like a drier formula rather than a wet formula, because a wet formula will kind of really drag my lashes down. But once the formula has had a chance to kind of dry up slightly, I think this is such a brilliant mascara. It's so buildable without getting clumpy. It gives you enormous volume and beautiful length as well, and I love the wand on this. Look how long and thin that is. So you can actually even use this on your bottom lash lines and be sure to get all of the little baby hairs. But yeah, I absolutely love this mascara. And this might sound excessive, but I actually do have a favourite mascara for my bottom lashes, and it's the MAC Extended Play Gigablack Lash Mascara. And when you see the wand, you'll probably know why. This has got to be the longest and skinniest wand ever. So it's perfect for getting to every individual baby eyelash you have on your bottom lash line. And I've got really kind of fine, tiny lashes. Now in terms of eyeliners, I have a few here, and they're kind of different types and different function. So the first one is a black kind of kohl liner that I swear by to kind of line the waterline. And the one that I actually wanted to mention in this video was actually the Marc Jacobs gel highliner. I actually ran out of that, and I don't think I kept it around to feature in this video. That is hands down the best non-transferable eye pencil to use in your waterline, because I don't have any issues with the colour transferring onto my bottom lash line and then kind of getting a bit kind of smudgy and messy. So since then I've not been able to get my hands on the Marc Jacobs Highliner because it's only available in America, I believe. The one I have been using in its place is the Makeup Forever Artist Eyeliner. Now this isn't perfect because when I apply it, although it's really nice and creamy to apply, before it sets, if you blink it starts to smudge on your bottom lash line, but once it sets it doesn't budge. So if it does transfer, which it will do, I basically just kind of get a clean finger and just rub off the excess that has transferred onto my bottom lash line, and that's it. It won't transfer anymore for the rest of the day. Now in an ideal world it wouldn't do that, but I think I'll just make do with it for now until I'm able to get my hands on the Marc Jacobs Highliner. And the next eyeliner I wanted to mention is more of a kind of liquid pen type eyeliner, and this sort of eyeliner I like to use when I'm creating a little bit of a flick on the top lash line. And the one I really enjoy using at the moment might be controversial because it has appeared before in one of my videos, and I'm pretty sure that I slated it off. If not in one of my videos, then definitely in my blog post, and I'm convinced I definitely got a bad batch. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. Now the first time I actually got my hands on it, I really could not see the hype about it. For me, it used to flake off, so you couldn't layer the product to get it really opaque, because as soon as you start layering the product will actually start to peel off. And sometimes there might be instances where you're trying to draw onto your kind of eyelid, but the skin is not picking up the colour. So I don't know if that's an issue with my skin or whether there was an issue with the particular product I had, but I was kind of determined to make it work and try it again, because I was absolutely convinced that, you know, all these people can't be wrong about this particular product because it's had so much rave reviews. So I picked it up again and I have been loving it. The reason why I love it so much is because of the kind of the brush tip applicator. It's a bit different from a felt tip one, because a felt tip one tends to be a bit more stiff, whereas this one is made up of tiny brush hairs that actually look like a felt tip from far away, but when you kind of brush it onto the skin, it's very flexible and it kind of moves as you kind of glide it along, and then for that reason I think it's kind of very flexible and easy to kind of create your wing. Yeah, and I'm glad I did give it another try. And then the other pencil liners that I really enjoyed using, and it's mainly because of the formula but also the colour range, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Kohl Iconic Liquid Eye Pencils. They're called liquid because, not because they are a liquid, because they are very much a pencil, but of the sheer fact that they glide on so easily that they feel like a liquid. And what I like about these is that these set and they don't budge at all, and they come in such beautiful colours. It's not like bright and garish and in your face colours. These are very kind of subtle hints of colour that add a little bit of interest to the eye. So I particularly really like wearing the navy one, which is called Marlena Midnight, I think, because it gives you a hint of blue to your eyes that you can't really notice it until you're really up close. Then moving on to concealer, this particular product I've enjoyed using under the eyes and kind of around any blemishes or redness that I have on my face, and it's none other than the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. And for me, it's the formula that makes this such a winning standout product. It's so super lightweight, yet it packs a punch in terms of pigment and coverage. It comes in a really nice doe foot wand applicator, so it's very easy to apply. It's not stiff at all, it's quite kind of bendy and flexible, so you can really have a lot of ease and control when applying it around the face. This is such a great formula, and I'm definitely making a dent in this one. So moving on to highlighters, the one that I've enjoyed consistently is the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter pen in the shade Light Boost, and I tend to use this kind of in that under eye triangle area just to really brighten and lift the eye area. And it's a really light yellow colour, so it's very brightening, and I'll typically take this kind of in between my brows and the middle of my forehead to really kind of balance out the highlight on the face as well. And it's such a light, easy to work with formula. comes in one of those twisty up pens, a bit like kind of a touche éclat. And in terms of a more shimmery highlight to use kind of like on the tops of your cheekbones and like your brow bone, my favourite one has got to be the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Press. Now there's a bit of a battle between Opal and Champagne Pop, which was the collaboration with Jaclyn Hill, and in the end I kind of went for Opal. Champagne Pop I think is more better as a summer highlighter because it's slightly more golden, so I think it looks really nice with a bit of a tan. Where this one is a bit more kind of peach, and I feel a little bit more subdued, and great for all year round. So it's a very, very intense highlight. So if you're not into that blinging highlight like what I've got on my cheekbones like right now, then you might not like this because it's very, very in your face. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. It's a beautiful kind of rosy golden tone, and yeah, such a beautiful kind of texture on the skin. It makes your skin almost looks a bit wet. And then something I discovered this year, which I haven't been using as much because I've been quite lazy, but when I was using it, I was pretty much using it every day, and it was the Smashbox Step by Step contour sticks. And the ones I mainly use are actually the contour one, which is such a great cream contour, and I actually use this mainly on my nose, but it's also great for kind of carving in some cheekbones and kind of defining the jawline. I did a video using these contour sticks, so I'll definitely link that down below if you haven't seen it. And I also think the highlight shade is very nice as well. It's a really nice soft beigey yellow shade, and what I love about this is the formula is just so easy to work with, so easy to blend, and it's completely foolproof. Anyone can use this. In terms of bronzer, I think it has to be the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. I was a bit scared when I actually picked this up because I thought it might be a bit too warm, and I actually picked up the shade 25i, which is an illuminating bronzer. I mean, you can see it very, very fine sparkling particles in the pan, but when you apply it to the skin, I can't actually see any shimmer on my skin. But what I love about this is that you can build this up to your heart's content and it will not look like you've got any sort of powder on your face. I don't know what it is about the formula, but it is just pure pigment. So you can apply this really sheer just for a hint of warmth, or you can really, really build it up. And I think it's such a really beautiful colour, and I love the fact that it doesn't look powdery at all. It's my worst nightmare when it comes to makeup, when your skin kind of looks powdery and it's kind of obvious that you're wearing makeup. Now in terms of blush, I have actually found myself really enjoying using the Colourpop blush, and this one is actually in the shade Birthday Suit. This one is a bit more of a, I say it's a kind of mauvey kind of pink, although it's not kind of too warm or too cool. It's kind of neutral. It's kind of a cream to powder formula, but you definitely don't see any powderiness. So it's like the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion, where you don't see any powder residue, you just see pigment. And I like to apply this either with my fingers or with a stippling brush. This doesn't feel wet when you touch it. It's such a weird formulation. If you've never tried any of the Colourpop products, then you're definitely in for a bit of a surprise when you actually feel the formula, because it's very, very unique. Now in terms of powder, I just keep going back to this one, and it's the Bourjois Healthy Balance Powder. This mattifies your skin without leaving any powdery residue. It just looks kind of airbrush and flawless. And I love carrying this around with me. Like I said, my skin does produce its own natural dewiness throughout the day, and I absolutely swear by this to just kind of mattify the skin without making it look powdery at all. Now moving on to lip products, I've got a few here because they're all in kind of different categories. So I'll start off with lip pencil, and the one that I have been using religiously since I've got it is MAC Soar. And Soar is just a really kind of dark pinky nude. It's a mauvey pink nude, so it's still very much on trend, and you can pretty much team it with like pink shades, like nudie pink shades, or like nude shades if you want to add a little bit of pink to it as well. I mainly love this for the colour because I find it so unique. In terms of lipsticks, there's quite a few lipsticks. I've really enjoyed using MAC lipsticks this year, and I picked out one that is the one I'm wearing on my lips. Actually, I forgot to mention that most of the products that I'm mentioning in this video I've actually tried to wear so you could see what they look like on my face. Should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but anyway, I picked out one colour from MAC, and it's MAC Fast Play. It is a kind of pinky brown, your lips but better. It's a bit deeper than your lips. I think it's one of those colours that you can pretty much wear all year round, and because it's quite a neutral tone, you can pretty much wear it with any kind of eye look. So this is probably one of my go-to lip shades, along with there's MAC Mare, MAC Brave, Twig, but they're pretty much in the same colour family. And this is an amplified formula, so it's super pigmented, and it's got a tiny bit of a sheen to it as well, so it's not drying. It's really comfortable actually to wear. Now, in terms of liquid lipsticks, the one I wore the most this year is the Gerard Cosmetics Hydra Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Serenity, and this is the collaboration with Manny MUA. And for me, this is a bit more of, I'd say, a spring summer colour because it's a warm pink with a bit of peach to it, but it's not kind of loud, it's still very neutral. It's one of the least drying formulas in terms of liquid lipsticks that I've tried. The way it fades as well, it fades kind of gracefully and not kind of crusty, where you get all the crust around your lips. That's one thing I really hate about liquid lipstick. In terms of lip glosses, I have got basically one brand but two colours that I have loved this year, and it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip glosses. These are super pigmented, so if you're looking for that sheer kind of wash of gloss on your lips, and this is probably not the product for you. These are properly intense in pigment, so you just need kind of one swipe and you've got so much colour on your lips. And they're not gloopy, they're not sticky, they're just really kind of nourishing and comfortable to wear. My favourite colour was actually Vintage. It's a neutral mauvey pinky shade, and then they came out with the full collection, and my favourite shade was Kristen, and Kristen's a bit more kind of on the brown side. So it's a little bit more deeper, a little bit more warmer. Oh, one more product I did forget to mention is my favourite setting spray, and unfortunately I don't have it with me because I ran out and I think I must have tossed it away, but it's the Urban Decay All Nighter. If you're looking for a makeup setting spray to keep your makeup in place and looking fresh from day till night, then your best bet is the Urban Decay All Nighter. I think that's it. That's all the products that I've kind of been loving this year, and there were other kind of makeup categories, but there were no kind of products that stood out in that particular category for me, so I didn't bother mentioning it. I'd love to know the makeup products that you've been enjoying this year, and whether there's any makeup recommendations that you would suggest me trying for 2016. This is probably going up after New Year, so I hope everyone's had an amazing 2015 and a great start to the new year, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Bye!